right, Jimmy. In January 2007, you made a name for yourself with your second-place finish at the Aussie Millions main event. Tell me about that run.
Wow. I mean, the whole thing, it's such a blur now. You know, it's so strange. Like, every single day of the tournament, it seems to go on forever. But at the end of the tournament, you feel like, you know, it all just mishmashes together. Day one of the tournament started off really well. You know, I don't think I ever got below 20,000 in chips, which is what we started with. Got up to about 50, then 60, then 70, and then finally I played a huge pot where I got it all in on the flop with bottom set against middle set. Came ace, king, queen, all hearts, and got in with queens against kings. And there were it was actually really funny because my opponent screams when I turn over my hand one time, and it was really funny because I wonder how bad that guy must run to have to scream one time when his opponent is drawing to one out. But then I one-outed him, so I felt kind of bad.
I bet you've screamed one time before. Everyone does it.
I've done it every tournament I've ever played in, probably. Sometimes jokingly, and unfortunately sometimes not. But, you know, I feel like I've had my one time a couple times. But, yeah, the tournament, it seemed like I had a charmed life the whole time. You know, I felt like I played well a couple times, but at the same time, I just ran really, really good, and in all the key spots, I either got my money in good and held, or got my money in behind and won. So, and then it just continued until heads up, which is, you know, a whole other subject by itself.
And you're only 19 at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, how much experience did you already have then?
Not a whole lot in live poker. You know, I won Turning Stone tournaments and stuff, but it was really weird. And I think a lot of the stuff where I said some stuff which I kind of regret now. It was just a weird time for me, and it was just I didn't know really how to censor myself. You know, no one had ever asked me these questions before, and that no one ever cared really what I thought about these things or asked me what my opinion was. So I basically just blurted it out there without even thinking about what would, you know, how it would
look later.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be on the internet, and, you know, everyone would see it. So it was kind of strange, but I'm over it now.
Yeah, everyone does it.
Yeah.
All right, you finished 22nd in the PCA, then followed that up immediately by taking second in the Aussie Millions. What do you think was going right for you at that time?
I actually had a few good tournament scores right before then, too. The PCA was on the 10th or something, and on the 4th or 5th of that month, I final tabled the Sunday Million online along with the big second chance tournament both in the same night. I was going at both at the same time, which is, you know, not many people have done. I didn't win either of them, but I don't know, it was just, everything was clicking for me at that time. And it's kind of funny because confidence is so key in poker. And at that point, I had so much confidence in everything. My bankroll was at its highest peak by far. I've been running really good in the Pot Limit Omaha games, and I was just crushing the games back then. My confidence was at an all-time high. And, you know, before the last World Series, my confidence was really good too. And I played really well there, and right now my confidence is running really good. So, you know, hopefully I'll get something done this summer.
So maybe a good run, all that is confidence.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, all it takes is one luck box to have it a big score, and then suddenly you've got the confidence to have another big score and another big score, and then eventually it doesn't take very much good luck at all before you're just playing well all the time and you're getting what you deserve, basically.
Right. Did you learn anything from that Aussie Millions event?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I felt like I became a much better player just over the course of the tournament. You know, getting a lot of live experience and one of my first big 10Ks. Obviously, the PCA helped, too. I was in live poker mode. You know, I went directly from one tournament to the other with not much time in between. But also, I just felt like I learned how to handle myself a little bit more when I saw how people react to the things I said. So, yeah, I definitely learned a lot about being a poker player and being a live poker player in that tournament.
Okay, you were born April 19th, 1987.
Yep.
Tell me about life before poker.
Well, I grew up in a small town. It wasn't really a farm town, but it was just a really, really small town, Mahomet, Illinois. Basically in the cornfields. It's about halfway between Springfield and Chicago, so the two big cities in Illinois. And I don't know, I lived in the same town basically all my life. I went to the same school. My graduating class had 120 to 150 people in it. I mean, 8,000 people in the town. You know, I tell that to other people now, and they're thinking, wow, I've never heard of a town that small.
Yeah.
But to me, that was all I knew. And 10 miles east was a larger city called Champaign-Urbana, which is where I went to school. for college, University of Illinois. I went for a semester and dropped out, but I was into gaming, a bunch of fantasy gaming with my stepdad and my close friend Tyler King, who's going to be out here this summer with me. And I don't know, I really felt like I didn't want to go to work for some, people who didn't care about me. I didn't want to do a job that I really didn't feel like doing. And so I kept fantasizing about doing these, playing games for a living. And I never thought it would actually really happen because, who's going to pay you for playing a game? But luckily I found a way to make it work.
Well, you dropped out of school. Was this to play poker or just games in general?
Well, I discovered poker at the very end of my senior year in high school.
Okay.
I just turned 18, and I had a decent tournament score, I think in May of 05, and I got second in like a $20 MTT with like a $100 bankroll, and I got $3,500 out of it. It's just an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
And a couple friends of mine were helping me figure out what I was supposed to do with the money. And so, I don't know, from there, I started playing every single day, and I didn't really want to focus on school at all. It just didn't seem interesting to me compared to poker. I could be playing like $3 rebuys every day. So that I started playing that, and I don't think I really dropped out to play poker, but it was clear that I wasn't going to succeed in school at that point.
Okay.
So when I dropped out, I figured I was just going to play poker for a while. And luckily for me, it actually took off instead of just puttering out for a bit and then having nothing else to do.
Right. And then when you win a score like $3,500, you think, wow, I can make so much more than sitting in an office somewhere or doing this or that.
Yeah, exactly. Poker was a lot softer back then, but it still was kind of crazy to think that I could make a lot of money and enough to support myself just based off of a $3,500 score. But, it grew and grew and grew, and with poker, how big it was back then, the sky was the limit. And then, I started getting into bigger tournaments where the money actually was, and then, things went from there.
Okay, what's the best way to describe your early days as a poker pro?
Ambitious. I was very, very ambitious. I wanted to be a tournament player. I didn't want to be a cash game grinder. I wanted to make lots of money really fast. I really just wanted to always be the best at something. And with poker, I kind of feel like I have a chance to do something where I'm the best at, and it's really cool to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be just some person, just like I don't want to work at some computer job or something where, I'm just some cog in the great scheme of things. If I'm going to be a poker player, I want to be one of the best ones. And which is strange because I'm not very well motivated to maybe do some things which are in the immediate moment the best for me, but at the same time I'm always looking at the big picture, and I kind of feel like I just want to put myself on the road to achieving the best things because I feel like I deserve the best.
Sure.
In a lot of ways.
All right. Is it Gobbo Boy, not Gobbo?
Yeah, it's Gobbo.
Gobbo. Okay. Where'd the nickname come from?
I used to play a fantasy tabletop role-playing game. Well, not role-playing game, a miniature game. You'd buy these little models and assemble them and paint them. Huh. And my first army, we called them, with hordes of metal and plastic figurines all over the table, were the orcs and goblins. And I was making my Yahoo Mail account, and I was going to pick Orc Boy because that's what they call each other, the boys with a Z on the end of it, which was so cool. And Orc Boy was taken, so I decided to go with the other one, Gobbo, which is what they called goblins, and I decided to go with Gobbo Boy, and it worked, and I just started using it for everything.
And it just stuck.
Yeah, basically.
You once said that online tournaments are the toughest tournaments you can play.
Yeah.
You've had more experience live now. Do you still feel the same way?
I feel like online tournaments...